This time on Kawaii-Fi Radio, the spring anime season is here, and there are some weird-looking characters.
I finally got who he reminds me of. Kind of an 80s Japanese James Dean. Just sort of like his eyes are just sort of, I'm sad and I don't know why.
Might be all the murders.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. Kyle asks for too much.
What happened to you, man? It used to be just about the music. Now you want more, man.
Now I want more, man.
What happened to you, man? It used to be cool.
I want a documentary and a novel deal. And we give inaccurate reviews for the winter season.
She makes crystal meth.
Yeah. She is Mr. White.
Oni-chan, let's cook.
It's over 9,000!
Nani?
Configure the language logic interface for Japanese.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Konnichiwa and welcome. You tuned into Kawaii-Fi Radio, the podcast diving into the world of anime, manga, and all things Japanese otaku culture. I'm Kyle. With me is Kenny. It's a bit late in the evening.
Yeah, we left this one a bit late. You fell asleep
I did.
yesterday.
Yeah, I dug in the yard, and because I'm old, I'm sore, and then I slept. This episode, it's a new anime season, and as we do each time, everyone in the team has thrown their recommendations into the ring, and we've whittled it down to 10 suggestions. One of them I don't agree on, but that's the beauty of this show.
The rest of the team couldn't be here as well because they are also still asleep.
Yes.
I'm like the only person that was awake yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the team members is in Melbourne. Tifa's in Melbourne now. Aaron
Tifa.
is changing jobs at the moment.
Hey, Aaron.
Kira Lee is looking after the babies.
Hey, Carolee.
Yeah, and Emma's sleepy. Hey, Emma! Anyway, we've got plenty to talk about this season because there's a lot to kind of discuss. We thought it was going to be a quieter season. It's not as bad as last season where there is a deluge. But
there's a lot, and then there's also just a lot of not much.
yeah, like
So many isekais this season. What the hells?
like I think someone like must have ordered the isekai multi-pack or something.
I mean,
I don't know where it's come from.
I suspect we can blame Free Ren.
I mean,
Free Ren is awesome, but I think it's that someone saw that its success and thought, okay, they like swords and sorcery again. Pour on the isekai. Rub some isekai on the next season.
Look, I would love to say yes, but I know that the lead time on most of these animes is about 18 months. So if we think about 18 months ago, year and a half ago for anime isekai, I mean, I don't know.
Overlord?
No. I think we might be even closer than that. I will find out between us talking about things. But if you want to know where we're pulling our list for this anime season, go check out livechart.me.
They've been our go-to for years. Every time there's a new season, we just like sit down and like watch all the trailers.
Oh, yeah. And keep in mind, this also is not a definitive list either. This is just our top 10 and some of the ones that we know that are returning, which are highly popular. There are also on the live chart, it gets updated with all the streaming services the moment they announce it usually, and all the OVA series. So that might mean like some shows like Sandland, for instance, are listed under the OVAs instead of the normal TV series because of the way they're being released, and more and more are ending up in that category. So always worth checking out.
That's weird.
Well, it makes sense because ONA stands for Original Net Animation. So if it was designed for streaming, it will end up in the ONA section. If it was designed for Japanese TV, it ends up in the normal TV section.
I see.
So it's a very strange distinction.
But I mean, as things go on, that's going to get more and more blurry.
Yeah, it definitely is. But the thing is, like the OVAs and ONAs have everything in there, like one-off episodes and so on, specials, mini-series, weird little side projects to shows, like, you know, like the chibi versions of characters that accompany the main show and stuff like that. They all end up over there. Anyway, let's get stuck in because it's the spring season, and that means, you know, everyone else can come out of hibernation because winter is over in the Northern Hemisphere. But for us,
you people,
we're about to go into hibernation because we're about to head into autumn.
That's a lot of anime.
Oh, so many.
Spring anime.
Copyright strikers for this one.
Sam, we're poisoning pigeons in the park.
So we had a bit of an issue where our previous Sting, for the longest time, it's meant to be a royalty-free song based on the creator's, decision, which was poisoning pigeons in a park.
It's a great song. Go check it out on YouTube.
Yeah. It's
from not from the official source because they keep copyright striking us. So
yeah, it is what it is. But it's we had to change it because every time we got to the spring season, because we only used to Sting once a year, we'd forget about it. So and then we're like, oh, that's right, we can't use that anymore.
which is the original creator says it's copyright. Well, said it's copyright free, so anyone can use it. And then someone decided to hear that and say, "Ha, no, we know better. We like money."
Mm-hmm. Well, you know how I was mentioning 18 months ago that, it must have been about 18 months ago when those shows started getting that promo. Well, if we go back to the summer 2022 anime season, we had Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, Overlord 4, Black Summoner, Call of the Night, Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, Parallel World Pharmacy, My Isekai Life, Vermilion Gold, Uncle from Another World. There's a lot of isekai then, so it must have been a season where those isekais did quite well, and that's then started them on the next one.
Or
they also had Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, which apparently just is not liked.
I mean, that's kind of a dumb name.
It's an incredibly dumb name. I don't know.
Or is it just a cycle that there's smatterings of isekai every now and then, and then every 18 months there comes an isekai deluge.
Yeah. If someone thinks isekai's back, let's get started, because by the time we do it, and then, it comes ebbs and flows.
Please no.
Let's talk about something that isn't an isekai, but definitely is kind of fantastical anyway. So let's kick off with Sandland. And this is Akira Toriyama's last, I guess you could say his last hurrah that he was working on before his passing, unfortunately, last month. Now, Sandland is set in the far future. War has destroyed the entire Earth, leaving only a barren wasteland where the supply of water is controlled by the greedy king. In search of a long-lost lake, Sheriff Rao asked the king of the demons for help and got the king's son, Beelzebub, to come along with his assistant called Thief. Guess what Thief does? Yeah.
He cooks.
Together, the unlikely trio set off across the desert facing dragons, bandits, and the deadliest foe of all, the king's army itself. It is very much connected to the Dragon Ball universe.
It's
not like you're not going to see a crossover, but it's like the Badlands in Dragon Ball.
No one's doing Kamehamehas, but they are basically fighting like it's Dragon Ball. And I played the demo. They click Capsule Corp capsules to activate vehicles.
Yeah,
it's just like Toriyama made this world, this universe, and how it works, and he never wanted to leave it.
No.
Which is fair enough.
No.
You create something you're proud of.
I'm strongly considering getting a Capsule Corp hoodie. Like that, they're just cool. Like
Does it come in a little damn.
No, but wouldn't it be cool if like the drawstrings had those on the end? That'd
so
be the
cool.
best fidget toys ever.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. So this is going to be on, well, I say it's going to be. There's already 9 episodes out because originally it was the movie that they created, which was it was originally a short manga that Toriyama created. And much like Dragon Ball's franchise, the series that continues on, the movie covered the manga and the series continues on to the next arc of what the manga would be with his blessing. So he helped them, plan out what the future arcs were going to be, sort of thing. Action, adventure, fantasy, PG, studio. There are 3 studios working on this.
3.
Only one of them do I have faith in, and that's because it's Sunrise. So Sunrise, they did Cowboy Bebop. The other studios is Anima. The only thing I can find that they did that I have even the slightest inkling of is the Dot Hack movie. Not Dot Hack Sign, just Dot Hack movie.
Okay.
Yep. And then there's Kamikaze Doga, who did Pop Team Epic. So it's kind of a weird combination. Anima mostly did stuff like, I think I was showing they were like all the weird like video game adaptations. So I think maybe they've been utilized for the CG arts.
As in the mobile game ad?
All the mobile game ones, yeah. So like Azure Lane and all that sort of stuff. But look, we'll see. It's only going to have 13 episodes, so we're only got like another month and a bit of it left until it's done. Airs on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. in Japan, so Thursdays should be able to watch it pretty comfortably.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, if you're in the US, you'll be able to watch it Wednesday night because that's 12 hours difference. So you're well and truly set for East Coast, just even the East Coast. 15 to 16 for West Coast. So, yeah. I reckon they could probably get it out in that time.
I barely know what the time difference is here. Don't ask me to do America. Yeah, they just changed daylight savings again.
Yeah. I was.
That has royally messed me up at work.
Oh, it royally impressed me this morning because it meant I had an hour more until I had to actually get on and do my my team meeting. Not that I wasn't online catching up on stuff, but it was like normally the team meeting is like 8 a.m. Perth time, and then it was 9 a.m. I was like, I have time to make a coffee. This is great. Anyway,
The small luxuries of working life.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sandlands was your pick for this season, Kenny.
It was.
Rightly so. It's going to be good. Let's go on to something that we weren't really expecting to come back, and that's Black Butler.
Yeah, that was 2006, was it?
I think it was. It's been over a decade, almost 2 decades.
To be fair, I remember it being huge in its heyday. It was. This was like every girl I knew was talking about this anime. It was great.
Well, they like Black Butler. So this is
It is full of very pretty boys.
This is the public school arc, and the one thing I found really odd about the trailer is it doesn't show Sebastian. Like, he's shown once.
Yeah, so is he
like-
just is he taking a back seat?
I don't know. It's
Though, to be fair, if I remember the trailer correctly, it's more about just showing off the new location.
it really
clothes.
was. And the clothes, yeah. On that note, Cloverworks is the studio for it. Cloverworks. So Darling and the Franks, Dress Up Darling, Bocce the Rock, Spike's Family. Yeah.
No, yeah, their rep speaks for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, Cloverworks are just basically A1 Pictures, which is Sony's, but like their premium, their boutique studio. Originally, they were.
yeah, this is one of their draw cards.
Yeah. But
This is if they want, like, something to look extremely shiny.
Yeah. But we'll get through the summary. So Butler Sebastian Michaelis works with his 13-year-old master, the Earl Ciel Phantom Hive. Is that right?
Phantom Hive, yes.
Yeah. To do the dirty work of the Queen's Guard dog in 19th century England's gritty underworld. One day, Ciel receives a letter from Queen Victoria telling him that several students at Western College, one of England's top public schools, which doesn't exist, have seemingly disappeared, including a relative of hers named Derek. Derek! And so Sebastian and Seal infiltrate Western College to get to the bottom of the matter and what is truly happening to these students.
See, that's the thing. It's been long enough with Black Butler. We might need to actually explain the original.
I don't remember.
You don't?
No.
CL Phantom Hive is young lad, kind of the heir to this big family fortune, this massive estate, and all of its inner workings. And he makes a pact with the underworld to be given a demon butler.
Oh, that's where all the hell of a butler jokes come from.
Did you not know this?
Look, I've never actually watched Black Butler.
Oh, hells, I'm going to have to sit you down and make you watch the thing that all the girls love.
Was that a pun?
No. Wait, was it? I don't know.
Because hells. Anyway, this look. What I know about the show is limited, but as you said, I do know it's quite popular with a lot of the female fan base. And it's from a manga. We currently don't actually have a list of how many episodes it's going to be, though. So that's kind of a bit odd. But I mean, we are kind of early. Like, there's a lot of shows which haven't even started airing yet at the time of recording. So
that's fair enough.
We are getting stuck into it.
Remember when animes were consistent and started on the season time? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
So this is going to air on Saturdays at 11:30 p.m. at night. So Saturday afternoon, evening in the US, you probably get it. Crunchyroll, Bilibili, and IQIYI in China. Actually, I didn't mention as well, Sandland is on Disney Plus, Star Plus, and Hulu, so all of the Disney associated ones. And we've actually got quite a few Disney releases this one. So they're not involved in the production of it, and for that, that's a good thing.
But they are stepping up their their campaign of monetizing anime because they're like, okay, anime is absolutely destroying us and our IPs, so let's just buy those and make people pay us to see them.
Wasn't it that like One Piece's last year, One Piece's financial income eclipsed all of Marvel's comic industry or something like that?
I mean,
something like that.
Everyone eclipsed Marvel. The comic industry, the way that they actually are staying afloat right now, this is a kind of an industry thing. They are combining the number of sales of graphic novels, like your Marvels, your DCs, your Image and stuff like that, with the sales of manga. But if you actually look at the charts, like the only DC thing you'll ever see in them is Batman because Batman sells.
Yep.
Everything else is manga.
Yep, that checks
everything.
Yeah.
It's actually embarrassing how bad comics have been for the last.
See, I've just started reading Independence, and some of the
best,
independent stuff like Boom Studios, amazing, so good. Like if you've been like not enjoying like what Marvel and DC have been putting out over
and
the
how
past
could you
5-10 years. I mean, look, some people do, and it's up their alley. But if it's not yours, and you're looking for something that might be potentially a bit more mature and less family oriented, Boom Comics is amazing, diverse options and all that. Like I think what was it? I Love Hell something. It was like a post-apocalyptic story of a girl who she wants to be in like the equivalent of like the baseball league, except it's violent baseball and all that. I love Skull Crusher.
Skull Crusher, that's the one.
That's beautifully drawn. Like the artwork style is very reminiscent of like 2000s manga and anime.
I mean, we're kind of basically turning into a comics chat podcast now, but like think about like some of the big IPs from recently. Walking Dead, The Boys. The Boys started as independent graphic novels.
Yeah.
And it's like various changes and differences between the series. Invincible, exactly.
Yeah, so
like,
also independent. But this
actually go independent, people.
This actually brings us nicely onto what our next actual show is, funnily enough. So there is a Power Rangers comic series by Boom that I've started reading, and it's actually phenomenal. And this season there is a new...
Oh, wait, is that a Grid?
That's one of them. Yes. It's part of a long storyline that started in 2016.
I've been following that one myself.
There's a new series called Go-Go Loser Ranger.
This looks fascinating.
Yeah, so this is Aaron's pick for the season. It's been done by Yostar Pictures. These are one of the other studios which has done nothing but mobile game adaptations. So Arknights and Blue Archive. Apparently Blue Archive this season's not great after the OP. Like apparently art style really drops in the actual show, but the opening animation is really good. I don't know if that's true. Let us know in the comments. We haven't actually watched it yet, so yeah. But this is like a kind of a twist on the Super Sentai Power Rangers formula, this series. And this is 13 years ago, the nefarious monster army invaded Earth, but humanity's great protectors, the Dragon Keepers, defeated them in a single year. Every Sunday since, the monsters have been forced to act out humiliating defeat after defeat in front of the unsuspecting public.
Yeah, they're like pushed into a coliseum for these like Power Rangers, like absolutely high off their fame and success, and to just destroy them over and over again.
Yeah. So determined to change this, a single monster known by the moniker D, so the letter D, infiltrated the Ranger Force. With the help of the mysterious Ranger Yumiko Suzukiri, D managed to seize one of their divine artifacts, the only weapons capable of permanently killing the monster's immortal bodies. However, D's subsequent encounter with the Dragon Keepers led to his unfortunate end. So who will stop them now? It's a new character.
Well...
It's Tommy, the Green Ranger.
No, because there's something hinted in like the visuals of the trailer. I watched it without subtitles or anything, so I was just like, okay, I'm just going to have to go off visual cues here.
Yeah.
There seems to be something a bit... I've got a mate who's going to kill me for saying it. There seems to be something a bit Dark Souls going on here.
There is.
Where people are dying, but then being revived.
Yeah.
And this seems to be what's happening with our main character. He seems to be getting killed off and then brought back. But because he looks like one of the little putties, just one of the random goons, I think that they are absolutely dismissing the fact that they just killed him.
Yeah. See, I know Aaron watched the first episode. It dropped on Sunday, just gone. This is also another one of the Hulu, Disney, and Star Plus global releases. But he was saying he really enjoyed it, and I knew this would be right up Aaron's alley. It is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's pretty as well.
It is.
Its visual style is something else.
Mm-hmm. But this is going to run for 12 episodes. Action sci-fi. It doesn't have like comedy or drama tags attached to it. So
No, it looks like we're going full edge for this one.
yeah, but we'll see. Like normally, like do you remember how I was talking about a couple of seasons ago Under Ninja, and for some
Yeah.
reason like the manga has the comedy tag, but they didn't put the comedy tag on the TV series. It's like this is not meant to be taken seriously.
Yeah,
If you were taking that seriously, you might have issues.
Under Ninja was like, its opening made it look like it was going to be terrible and taking itself seriously. Everything else about it was goofy as all hell.
Oh, absolutely. So, like, yeah. We've got one of those this season as well to talk about, actually.
More goofy ninjas.
Oh, yeah. Well, assassins.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Go Go Loser Ranger, Hulu, Disney, and all their associated platforms. Sundays at 4:30 p.m. in Japan. 12 episodes. Doesn't have a rating yet, but based on the content we've seen, probably PG. So, pretty straightforward. All right. Now, let's go a little bit off the deep end because I've, of course,
Yay.
picked strange things again. Jellyfish can't swim in the night.
I reckon they could, man.
I mean, they can, but, you know,
Or can they?
I actually don't.
You should.
I'm a
Google
Google
this.
that. Can jellyfish swim at night?
Can dogs look up?
I don't know. What's up, man?
Can a giraffe scratch its backside?
Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night is an original anime. No, it's the.
No, we're trying to figure out the the etymology.
Look, all of the things are about the anime, so I don't think it's a legit statement. What I think it is them being a bit funny about the story. So let me explain this.
Please do.
This is a drama series. I think it's kind of got elements of music, entertainment, performance, and so on. So Shibuya is a city full of identity, and it is here on Shibuya's late-night streets that illustrator Mahiro Kazuki, former idol Kano Yamanouchi, VTuber Kyu Watase, and composer Mei Kim Anok Takanashi, what a name, 4 young women who are slightly outside the world join together and form an anonymous artist group called Jelly. Jellee, which is probably where the jellyfish can't swim in the
Okay.
night. And it's probably a commentary on them not being able to
Breakthrough.
break through on their own. So that's what I'm thinking. PG, but Studios Doga Kobo. Oshinoko. Yuri. Senpai, my senpai is annoying. Monthly Girls at Nozaki-kun. So
Okay, yeah.
it's going to be shiny. It's,
It's
going to
gonna be very
beautiful.
pretty.
Yeah. But it's an original show as well. So this isn't based on a manga or light novel or any of that sort of stuff. This is a brand new concept from the studio internally.
Those ones,
Hit and miss, but
very hit and miss. Sink or swim,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a jellyfish.
sink, swim, or maybe grabbing at your leg at the beach.
But not at night.
Not at night. This is going to air on Sundays at 1 a.m. in the morning, so Sunday morning. So Sunday is probably the best day to when it'll be coming out, depending on the whole dubbing schedule. This is one of the ones that is not on Crunchyroll or Disney. This is on High Dive, ADN in France, IQIYI in China, and then the entire Muse Asia network. So that's Muse Asia, Singapore, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand,
So
and Taiwan.
High Dive for our English-speaking audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or ADN if you want to be fancy. I love, that's Anime Digital Network in France. So they're one of the few independent creator, streaming platforms that are around these
Because
days.
it's French, you must be fancy.
Uh-huh,
That
indeed.
means you must lift your pinky finger.
Yes. Oui.
Makes it elegant.
Anyway, this just looks shiny. I'm really excited for it. I don't get into hello, Leica.
Kitty.
I don't get into idol shows. That's not my cup of tea. I don't tend to get too heavily into music shows. I think K-On! And Hibiki Euphonium are kind of the exceptions for
Given
it.
was pretty good as well.
Given was pretty good, but that's because it was about more than just the music.
Yeah.
And for me, it needs to be about. I mean, maybe it's just I'm greedy, but I want more out of it than
What
just
happened
that.
to you, man? It used to be just about the music.
It used to just be about the music.
now you want more, man.
Now I want more, man.
What happened to you, man? You used to be cool.
I want a documentary and a novel deal. But I think this could be interesting because, while I enjoyed what was the one? Carol and Tuesday. I didn't end up sticking with it because it kind of felt like it was relying too much on the music side of it to fill the episodes.
Which, I mean,
Don't get me wrong.
musical anime, so that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Something about it didn't make me stick with it much either.
Yeah, and it's a shame because that was by the creator of Cowboy Bebop and all that. So, you know. Anyway, High Dive and associated places for jellyfish can't swim in the night. It is PG rated drama. It should be good fun. Like, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm sure it'll be someone's, and it might be very much mine.
Cup of jellyfish.
Do you remember that really old silly meme like jellyfish? But don't eat a real jellyfish
Or you'll die.
I made this for you.
God, that's going back a ways.
We're
Old men.
Yeah, we are. He threw a couple of videos up recently, and
No
then
way.
then left again. It's just like, all right, cool.
Weird guy.
On the note of weird guys, let's talk about The Fable.
All right.
So we've watched the first episode of this.
We just watched this. It's it's something.
Where to start? Okay,
Can you call it something special? It's very.
it's comedy crime, and this is kind of a bit odd.
It's weird.
It's
It's
weird.
bloody strange.
Okay, so this is being produced by Tezuka Productions. There's currently no rating attached to it. It's definitely M or higher because there is violence. 25 episodes. Tezuka Productions, who did Dororo, Pluto, Kids on the Slope. A lot of great shows.
Tezuka is like one of those big old like juggernaut names in anime.
Yeah.
They've been around for decades,
Mm-hmm.
practically a century now.
I don't know if he had the studio set up under his name before he passed. I think it might have been something else, and then it was renamed to him afterwards. We should do like a episode looking at them.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the list of things to do because we do occasionally do episodes where it's a studio in focus. So this one is again a Disney streaming platform, so Hulu, Disney Plus, Star Plus. When you're the infamous prodigy hitman known only as Fable, many things come easy, but being a normal person isn't one of them. In fact, being told he can't kill anyone for a while may just be the hardest job Fable's ever taken.
Yeah,
He has to go undercover for a bit.
So he's a hitman, and him and his sort of handler, driver, they have to go undercover in Osaka, I think.
Yeah,
And so they have to pretend to be normal, and this guy is...
anything but.
She is not a normal guy.
Just also the...
Oh, yes, he zones out and taps his forehead to change his dialect.
Yeah, it's really weird.
He's that's his way of blending in, and I mean, he seems to be doing
He seems to be good at it, like, but it's just I wasn't.
It's sort
just
of
weird.
There's something very anthropological. You're just watching this strange pair of people go about their business and pretend to blend in.
But you can really tell it's Tezuka's art style. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's very much like if you've watched like Pluto, the recent Astro Boy story, like how they make them. There's a very specific style that is associated with that older style, and this works well, and it makes so much sense when we
And
saw it.
that older style was confusing us to begin with. It's like they're like, okay, so
when is this?
the style is something from the golden age of anime. It looks like something from the 90s or the 80s. And so we're thinking, is this anime also set in the 80s?
Well, the only reason we figured out it probably isn't is because the car had what looked like Android Auto or Apple Auto or...
Yeah, he was watching stuff on a screen in the back.
Yeah, with
But
like, apps.
Okay, but to be fair, my dad's car had one of those,
Yeah.
like, when I was a young whippersnapper.
I think those, like, the Japanese fancy cars, like, you remember, like, your, like, old Lexus that your dad got you?
Yeah, I inherited a Japanese limo. It was great.
Yeah, like, well, not a limo as in long, but
It
limo
had-
fittings.
Its back seats had like a champagne section.
And a massager. And
It had
heating.
massage and heating chairs.
The car wasn't worth more than, like, $4,000.
It sucks though because the driver's seat never had any of those stuff. So the only times they
That's
get
too
used-
distracting, man.
It's
It's only good if you're the passenger. That's why no one wanted to buy it, because they couldn't make use of it.
but then I'd cart everyone everywhere. They'd be like,
Yeah, it was
"Oh,
great.
these seats are amazing." Really? Are they?
Are they now?
Have some of that champagne.
Yes.
I can't. I'm driving.
The vehicle's license, did you know?
And this is why I switched to a smart car. I will never be asked to like drive people any place again.
True, but you keep offering to put me in the boot.
Because it's comfy. Am I the only one that appreciates a comfy car boot?
You're probably not, but like anyway, getting well off track here. So the Fable, there's only one episode out, but this is going to be 25 episodes. The manga's pretty old, actually.
And
well, not pretty old, but it's not recent. It's more than 10 years old.
Just something else I love about it. The guy looks intimidating.
Yeah.
In that he just looks strange. He's not like a pretty looking guy like they often make anime protagonists.
He looks bored.
He has like just
The cold dead eyes of a killer?
I finally got who he reminds me of.
Who?
He's like a kind of an 80s Japanese James Dean. Kind of like old Hollywood legend.
Yeah.
But he has that kind of expression of just sort of like his eyes are just sort of, I'm sad and I don't know why.
Might be all the murders.
Yeah.
I mean, so anyway, this is airing on Sundays at 1 a.m. in the morning. It's 12:55 a.m. in the morning. So this is definitely
AM in the morning.
This is not going to be, PG.
This is not for the little kiddlywinks to watch. Unless they're determined.
Killing me.
Sorry.
This is going to air. So Sundays, 25 episodes, Tezuka production, so good quality. If you want to get a bit ahead of it, manga's out as well. I'm pretty sure the manga's finished. So this should I don't know if this will adapt the whole story. I haven't had a chance to look at how long the manga is, but this kind of reminds me of like Under Ninja meets Way of the House Husband.
And City Hunter?
And City
bit
Hunter.
Of City
There's
Hunter.
definitely a bit of City Hunter to it. City Hunter's got a new live action coming out.
Get out, really?
Yeah, it looks good. So might have to do a special on that.
That's just a song that never ends.
Yeah, I know, right? Right, let's move on to the girly pops. So Emma has asked us to talk about mysterious disappearances.
Well, I mean, we could.
We
could talk about it.
In classic Emma style, it is to do with people who have disappeared, unsolved mysteries and murders. Her new favorite podcast, actually. No, so Mysteries Supernatural. It's by Studio Zero G. It doesn't sound familiar, the studio, but we do know them. They did Grand Blue.
Hey.
So Grand Blue Dreaming, not Grand Blue Fantasy. Very different shows. One's about swimming, one's about video games.
Grand Blue Fantasy is like your classic bunch of heroes with magic and swords and airships and stuff. Grand Blue Dreaming is a lot of naked guys drinking a lot of alcohol.
And oolong tea, which is also alcoholic.
I think we need to return to that one.
Yeah,
later.
we really do.
The live action was terrible, though.
Oh, yeah. So there's Farming Life in Another World as well by them, and Science Fell in Love, so we tried to solve it.
Yeah, that was cute.
The premise kind of fell over, but the art style was good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It was very
so
pretty.
there you go. Ratings not known. We don't know where to watch it yet either. It hasn't been announced where it's going, but it airs on Wednesdays at 10:30. It's coming out Wednesday after this podcast goes live.
Hey.
So hopefully that'll be, considering it looks like it might be a bit more mature, I'm hoping maybe High Dive will pick it up. So we'll see how that goes. Now, if you're wondering what this is about, Sumeriko is a bookstore clerk who wants to become a novelist after writing success in her youth. However, when strange occurrences start cropping up around the city, she teams up with her flirtatious co-worker Ren Adashino to look into them. But Ren is hiding a secret of his own. He probably likes her. With their combined skills of occult knowledge, what will they discover as they investigate? The art style for this is just cool. Like, I saw this and I immediately went, "This is right up Emma's alley. She'll want to watch this."
Sounds pretty intriguing.
And the character design is also kind of a little unique. Like, so you know how we're so used to seeing that kind of I would say it's the style of character design that was pioneered by Kyoto Animation in the mid-2000s. So, like, big, colorful eyes, very vibrant eyes that pull you in.
Oh, so
circular faces and all that.
Very Clanad kind of thing.
Very similar to that style. And that stuck around for a lot. It's been softened and changed slightly, but it's still like the core style of anime character design. This feels more towards like Kokoku, Moment by Moment, where the characters look like adults. They don't look chibi or childish. They haven't been softened. They do have hard edges to some of their character designs. So that made me go, okay, this kind of looks a little bit different. I think it's seinen targeted as well. So this could actually be like one of those like really kind of unique series. but I'm interested to know where this is going to show up. I'm really excited for it. So is Emma. So
Sounds pretty good. I mean,
don't know where it's going to be. Don't know what it's going to be rated.
it's a mystery, like
But-
the show.
Because it's a mystery, I'm going to say M+, so 15+ probably.
Probably.
We'll know more this week, I guess.
I just love that as a concept. They release that and it's like, okay, if you have to find it, you have to go through a series of tests.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to something that I'm not too excited to talk about.
What's this?
Bartender, the Glass of God. It's just made me go, is this to do with Pie Brain, the puzzle of God? But this is, it's a glass this time. It's what whiskey does God like?
I actually don't know why this one so absolutely has an effect on
I
me.
don't know why either. Maybe I'm just a grumpy old man.
My
but-
figuring is it's like, all the countless food animes that we see, but, directed at bartending. They're going to tell you the secrets for each nice cocktail and stuff like that. But no, you seem to really hate
Look,
it.
so let me give some context here. PG-13 drama, gourmet seinen. We think about 12 episodes. They haven't confirmed, but this content-wise doesn't have much to go on. It was previously adapted in 2006, and I believe before that it was a manga series. I'll have to double check on that. Studio is Studio Liber. They did Ice Guy and His Cool Female Colleague. They're a fairly new studio as a leading studio. Ice Guy and His Cool Female Colleague, the main male character, his heritage has got a snow sprite somewhere along the lineage. So when he's happy, it starts snowing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the girlfriend is Kude. So she's a cool type character, sort of like Rei Ayanami from Neon Genesis, where it's she's cool and doesn't really give off a lot of emotions.
Gotcha.
So thus the joke. This is going to air Wednesdays midnight, i.e. Thursday morning.
Oh, yes. We should probably talk about the plot of this
Yeah.
instead of the other thing.
Yeah. But so this is. Look, I'll read the summary and I'll explain why I'm annoyed with it. Okay? All right? Okay. At Eden Hall, each glass has a story. Oh, God. A quiet bar lies tucked away in the streets of Tokyo, and it seems only the most desperate souls burdened by their own troubles manage to find its doors. But after a glass of God poured by the brilliant bartender Ryu, they leave renewed. Ryu has a gift. He knows how to soothe the soul with a perfect drink, so who will he meet next? They open.
You have read far cringier stuff than this.
I've read far cringier stuff than this. However, I also removed a line where it started doing the internal monologuing because I'm not reading that because it's cringy.
Oh, is this the tender thing?
No. That's what That's where I take umbrage.
Oh, okay.
So
Continue.
the trailer for this. It goes to say, and they use this to end the first episode. So it's not me just ragging on it, having only seen the trailer. I've watched the first episode. They end the first episode, and it's the line they use to open the trailer, and it's bar and tender are two words. Bar, a place to be served drinks. Tender, a way to be held and caressed. I'm like, no, that is not what that word means. Now, let me be clear. I do understand that a lot can be lost in translation. And considering how many times the English language has multiple words with different spellings and the same pronunciations, and vice versa, I can understand it. But one moment of research would tell you this is a dumb line. 1 second of research.
I think this goes back to what I was calling a deepity. It's it's something that sounds profound until you examine it.
It's seinen. This would make more sense if it was targeting people who were not exposed already to drinking culture. Seinen is 18+. So in Japan, they are approaching drinking culture, and if they're not drinking, they may be in the workforce and already being used to pouring drinks.
It's not
events.
about the Amazon Studios level writing. It's more about the drinks.
I know.
Focus on the drinks and getting wasted.
But the drink that he served was just a highball.
Yeah, that actually goes back to the first series. In the first episode, the guy was a hotel manager trying to find a bartender for his new hotel. That's why I was a bit confused.
So it is literally the same.
No. It's completely the situation is the same. The characters and the time and the place all different. It's just that this is a callback to the first episode.
Okay.
And the guy was served a highball for the same reason. It's just a light drink for someone who has been run off their feet and just needs something refreshing. So I understand the meaning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that was kind of lost on you. I think you were just mostly still about that line.
That's
think-
fine. I'll beep you out for that.
Thank you.
Because we're recording the video too.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, video friends.
I should watch my mouth.
You got a dirty potty mouth on you. Anyway, look, I know I'm probably getting unnecessarily grumpy about this, but
It's funny to me.
Yeah, like both you and Tifa were like, "Ooh, this looks good." I'm like, look, because I remember when I watched it, I put in the chat and I'm like, "Who is this even for?" And I'm like, "Evidently
Me.
not me."
Yeah, I remember. I replied, me.
yeah. Look, I think I'm kind of, because there's so much anime coming out, I see shows like this and I kind of go, I don't have the time to waste, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
That's
fair
not to be rude to the concept of it. It's more that it is going to be slow paced. It is going to be talking about people's struggles and how hard their life has been, and I'm struggling with this in the office.
Yeah,
And
it's making your way in the world today takes everything you've got.
exactly.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Exactly. I don't need to be watching Cheers.
But that's exactly what you're getting.
Oh,
God,
no.
imagine like your old sitcoms from like American TV,
As
but
an
as
anime.
animes.
I mean, some of them I'd watch.
Oh, that'd be so weird.
Imagine if they redid Frasier as an anime and made him all of the characters bombastically gay and made it a BL series.
Ooh, that's
That'd be a 10 out of 10 in my books.
Oh, that's hurting my brain.
Thought you'd enjoy
what-
that little brain fart.
Like Becca, that would be crazy.
Becca would be crazy.
Well, Will and Grace.
Really great. Yeah. Anyway,
That'd just
just
be
not
the-
friends. Not friends.
Oh, well, there's not much to work with there.
No, there's not. Don't get me wrong. It was good for its time, but
Was it? I'm still not. I think it was like that generation's Big Bang Theory. That if you remove the laugh track, there is nothing funny going on.
except for Joey.
He has a stupid face, so of course.
Exactly, yeah. Anyway, Glass of God, if you feel inclined, it does air at midnight on Wednesday night, Thursday morning. You could probably be drinking at that hour while you watch it. So, I guess that kind of works. Put it on in the bar while you're
Unless
serving.
you're not old enough to drink, in which case get mummy and daddy's permission to break out the whiskey.
Don't do that.
Do it. See what
Don't.
happens.
Ignore him.
Do not.
So-
Life advice from Kenny.
and this is why you are where you are.
Yeah.
In my studio at 8 p.m. 9 p.m. on Monday night.
And this is why you are where you are. At 8 p.m. in the studio.
Yeah, on a Monday night. Because I'm bad at time management.
Sick burns.
Now, we're going to move on to another one that Emma actually picked up. And this I'm pretty keen on. So Emma's pretty big on a yokai, which is traditional Japanese monsters and creatures and so on. And Tonari no Yokai-san, we do not have an English translation for it yet. Hang on, I'm just going to do. This is a slice of life supernatural set in a town where yokai are common occurrence. So Lidden Films did that. They did Insomniacs After School, Tokyo Revengers,
Yay.
and Initial D, where the Eurobeat always intensifies. It's based on a web manga, and it's going to be on Crunchyroll. Now, I will be honest, the opening was a bit... The way the summary was written for it's kind of a little bit... So I've rewritten it.
Yeah, the summary
So,
for these things. I wonder who's in charge of
In
these.
Engamori, the cozy town where supernatural beings are your friendly neighbors, for generations and to this day, the otherworldly yokai and humans have continued to protect their easygoing way of life. Enjoy the mountain breeze and uncover the mysterious bonds that lie within. A cat is born with two tails.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a weird line to end off.
No, I added the end on because that doesn't tell you anything about who the main character is. It's the cat with two tails. It starts talking and everyone's normal about it because it's a town with yokai in it.
Fair enough.
So I think it's not so much that the cat is born with two tails. His tail splits into two and he turns into a yokai.
Okay,
Yeah. So
and are we talking like a house cat?
yeah.
Bipedal?
Yeah. Once he turns into a yokai, bipedal.
Oh, okay.
Walking around, chatting to the other monsters, having a good laugh. It looks fun.
Looks
Right,
cute.
it looks
Sounds
really
cute.
It's going to air at Sundays at 2 a.m. Like, yeah, I know, right?
I'll never understand the Japanese. No, I mean,
will you forgive them?
I'll never forgive the Japanese. It's just like the way that some of these animes, the times that they're put on, it's like, all incredibly late at night. It's
Well, I
just
mean,
like,
this is the thing, because
Eh?
they have all the variety shows on during the afternoon. And I can tell you from my brief period in Japan watching their TV, I actually don't like variety shows. Like, I completely understand what Chris Broad was talking about when he was talking about, like, whenever they're eating food on those shows, it's like, oh my God, it's the best thing I've ever had. Yes, yes, yes. And it's like, it's so overacted.
right.
And it becomes like, especially when you're not familiar with the culture, if you go there and you see that, you just go, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just obviously, if you've grown up with it, it will seem normal. But if
Some
you
of
haven't,
some of it does look amazing though.
Yeah.
Like you find those old clips of crazy prank TV shows, and
those are fantastic.
that looks amazing.
They're also late night.
What?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. So I don't know.
that makes no sense.
I know. But anyway.
So all the stuff in the daytime is them just eating.
It's weird. Like, some of the like, I remember the variety show that we were in Nara on Tsukimi, which was like the night of the full moon, beginning of the full moon festival. And they had a really good variety show on there where they had a reporter out at the temple and was talking to the monks and stuff while they were doing stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
And then they'd go back to the audience and people would be sharing stories that connect them with the moon. That was really nice. Then the next night it was the same show, but it was a completely different tone, and it was really weird. And it was like a grumpy old lady, just like, I don't like you, any of you like you. Just like, what am I watching? And obviously, not being fluent in Japanese anywhere near it, I still get my pronunciation wrong, as you'll see with every name I say on the show. Like, it's just kind of a bit weird to try and take in.
When you were over there, were you accused of speaking with an Australian accent when you spoke the language?
Thankfully not, but in fairness,
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa, what's up, brother? No.
Konnichiwa, hey, bro.
I've been told because I've got a fairly neutral accent. Like, it's not got the heavy English or the heavy Australian to it. It's kind of sitting in the middle nicely.
Yeah, same here. I got the mutt accent.
Yeah. So I've been told that because of that, I don't sound too foreign. I don't sound like,
Oh, allegedly I do. I get it all. Well, it's like, so where are you from originally? Subi.
Subiaco. Was that in Scotland? No, I just like saying it fancy.
I'm from Subiaco, where they make a good haggis.
God, I could go haggis. I miss haggis. If you haven't had haggis, gravy with it. Then it's good. On its own, it's a bit dry.
Ooh, Japanese curry haggis.
Oh, yeah. Have you? Yeah. Getting way off topic. Yeah.
Sorry. Where were we?
Tsunari no Yokai-san. So this
Yes,
is
yokais.
Yokais.
We should cook the yokai in curry sauce.
No,
Yes.
but I hope there's a curry demon. That'd be cool. So this is Slice of Life. It's going to be very relaxed. I think it's basically going to be kind of like the equivalent of a coming of age story, but for the yokai. So he's turned into a yokai. He's learning his place in the society, and I'm sure something weird will happen in the town. Like, someone will come in to try and ruin things, and he'll end up being the hero or something.
Maybe.
But I'm okay with that. It's kind of a well-tread story, and that's not necessarily a bad thing these days if it's done or handled in a different way.
There's a lot of more relaxed and subdued animes this season, sort of to make up for all of the various isekais.
I mean, I think just in general getting more of the relaxed ones, but I still find it hilarious, that one we were talking about last season where it's like, this is the comfiest anime ever. Oh, you're like,
Wait, which one was that again?
We didn't watch it because it was bad.
Which one was that again?
I can't remember. I just remember I saw it, I watched the trailer, and I went, this is far too high energy to be saying how comfy they are and say it's like, the ultimate comfy anime. And it's like, you've got the wrong memo in front of you. Like, this isn't a wrestling promotion. This should be kind of like,
I think that was kind of what they were going for. We may need to go back.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Buddy, we've got to go back.
I don't think it's well rated. I think it's like a 5.2 on Mal.
Ooh.
Yeah, so yeah, that's like on Mal, that's pretty bad.
Oh, that's I remember doing like a full safari through my anime lists things because I wanted to know what the worst anime on my anime list was, and to do that, I started from the very, very start. And I clicked
You
through.
kept scrolling down. Instead, you didn't realize there was actually one to click where
There
you
was
could reverse.
no. It's like I could do that, but I also wanted to explore.
You wanted the journey.
I did learn a few things. There are very, very few things at around number 10 and 9.
Yep.
There's a lot of good stuff at around number 8.
Yeah.
There is a critical mass
At
of
7.
my anime list at 7.
Yeah, that checks.
Everything below 7 it's sort of you are teetering on
Yeah.
darkness.
There's a lot of 6.5s there which are good, but it depends on what you're looking for. Like,
Yeah.
they're good for a certain people. They're more niche shows.
Yeah, 6.5 made to appeal to a certain person.
Once you drop past 5.5, things get interesting.
Therein madness lies, people.
Yeah.
It's you will see
Like
you will see some strange
I have
stuff.
some shows I absolutely adore that sit in the 6.5. And it's because their audience base isn't wide enough. I think Listeners is like a 6.5, and Listeners is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's fair.
But unless you grew up learning music theory or are obsessed with music and musicians and that sort of stuff,
yeah, like
a lot of it kind of you wouldn't catch.
like we said, it's designed for a niche audience. But yeah, if it gets to 5, things are strange. I'm convinced that a few of those points they get is just for the fact that it's animated, and that takes a bit of effort.
Yeah.
Even though that is a terrible metric to give anything
Well,
points by.
This is the thing, though. Like, a lot of people weight their score. They rank how good the animation is, how good the story is, and then they tally it and then divide it by 10. And it's like, that's not necessarily a good way to rank it. It's like you're not rating the individual parts in that regard. You should be rating the overall product. And if one of those parts fundamentally flaws it, you can still say the animation is fantastic, but the story is rubbish.
Yeah.
Like, the story is kind of the
I can
critical
understand rating it like
component.
that, but at certain points, it's just like the fact that it's well animated just tells me you had a good animation team.
Yeah.
That's all.
Like, story should be number one. Like, it doesn't matter how pretty it is. If the story is good, the animation is just the vehicle to bring you that story. If the story is fantastic and the animation is rubbish, you can go read the manga or the light novel. It's not going to take away from it.
Yeah,
but if it's
the story's
held up-
fantastic, the fact that it exists in a visual medium is inconsequential. Someone telling you about it should excite you about it.
See, like, I mean, and a lot of people say this, and I will get some flack for this, but Demon Slayer is held up by its art
And music.
and its music. And don't get me wrong, it is phenomenal. It is an experience.
It's a good show.
But its story is quite simple. It's not complex. It's not going to require you to understand the history of yokai or anything. It is very classic shonen tropes. This happened. I must avenge this person. I must protect this person.
Yeah.
It's very formulaic.
It's it's like you could say it's formula. I prefer to say it's a well-trodden path.
Yeah.
It's following in the footsteps of some giants. It's following in the footsteps of Bleach and Naruto and all the big shonen animes. It's just, it's not the amazing thing that people think it is. It looks great.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. As much as I give like Attack on Titan grief, the underlying story underneath it all was fascinating. Like
Was
like,
until it got into later seasons.
look, I mean, I
Then
think
it went full Game of Thrones.
It did, but like it's still like interesting. Like it's enough to keep you interested, and that's why it's pulled people in. Even if the animation was rubbish on Game of Thrones, I think people would still tune into it because they want to know what's going to happen.
And then there's stuff like Berserk.
Yeah, exactly.
Something that's just never had a proper animated version.
Yeah. Anyway, we've gone well off the beaten
Yeah,
path.
what the hell
again.
were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about
yokai?
but let's take that up a notch and talk about Kaiju number 8.
Yay.
Because we just went and saw the Godzilla X Kong movie, and that was amazing.
We
10
were,
out of 10.
we were just talking about Attack on Titan, and I remember looking at Kaiju number 8 and calling it a more focused Attack on Titan.
Well, it's Attack on Human. Attack on Kaiju.
Kind of, because
Yeah,
like
I
the
don't
main
know.
character is like, I hate kaiju.
Yeah.
I will kill all the kaiju. Oh god, I've become a kaiju.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Same as I hate the titans. I will kill all the titans. I become a titan.
Now, there is something to note that this season there are some odd release times. Like Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia are both coming back, but they don't come out till May.
Pepperidge
They're
Farms remembers.
a month away. So Kaiju number 8 starts next Saturday at 11 p.m, I believe. So that would be the 14th or the 13th or something.
Bit of a staggered release.
Yeah. We don't know how many episodes this is going to be. The manga's been going for a while and it's quite well received. Shonen focused, of course, but it's action, fantasy, sci-fi. Grotesque I've become
A grotesquerie.
I've become a Kiwi. Grotesque Godzilla-like monsters
Grotesque.
called kaiju have been appearing around Japan for many years. To combat these beasts, an elite military unit known as the Defense Corps risks their lives daily to protect civilians. Once a creature is killed, sweepers working under the Professional Kaiju Cleaner Corporation are left to dispose of the remains. So if you remember, like...
And actually, now I want to know what that entails, because
Yeah.
how do you dispose of a kaiju?
Well, do you remember, like, I think, like, the second Pacific Rim film? You had, like, Hannibal Chow, and he, like, you know, would sell all the parts of the kaiju.
Oh, that was
off
the
on
first
black
one.
market. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, same sort of thing.
But it's just like, okay, so people are buying pieces of kaiju.
I mean, I figure researchers would be. I reckon the medicinal market, obviously,
There's a lot of meat on a kaiju.
I mean, Pepperidge Farm remembers. So, like,
Is this what goes into chicken nuggets?
Yes, this is the new chicken nuggets. No, anyway.
I think this is the old chicken nuggets. KFC have been doing this since the dawn of the dinosaurs.
So Kafka Hibino, a 32-year-old man, is unsatisfied with his job as a sweeper, and from a young age he's aspired to join the Defense Corps and kill kaijus for a living. After a few failed attempts to join, however, he gave up on his dream and resigned himself to the mediocrity that provided a decent paycheck. Nevertheless, when an ambitious 18-year-old recruit named Leno joins his cleaning team, Leno Ichikawa, Kafka is once again reminded of his desire to join the military. Following a chain of unfortunate events and an interaction,
He ate one of the chicken nuggets.
interaction with the junior sweeper, Kafka encounters a parasite-type kaiju that forces its way through his mouth and turning him into a humanoid monster. With his newfound powers, he aims to live his lifelong dream and give it a final try. I must admit, I don't like the burrowing in through his mouth thing, and I've seen that scene twice now watching the trailers, and it's uncomfortable for me.
Ugh.
I woke up with a cockroach in my mouth as a kid once,
Ugh.
so yeah, I kind of got a bit of an aversion to that. Anyway, sorry for the TMI. Anyway,
Now we know things about Kyle.
Production IG is behind this as the studio. They did Haikyuu, Heavenly Delusion recently, Psycho Past, and the original Ghost in the Shell series 1 and 2. And the movie, I think, as well. So they're good. Like, Production IG have always been good. Originally is from a manga, as mentioned. Crunchyroll, Annie Plus in Korea, Bilibili and IQIYI in China, and Netflix worldwide in some areas. Crunchyroll most of the occasions. So
Netflix worldwide in some areas.
yeah.
So it's worldwide, but restrict the wideness a bit.
Look, it's 9:30.
All over the world and part of the world.
It's 9:30. Give me a break.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Let's get ice cream after this.
Yeah, ice cream would be good. This is pretty much the shonen anime this season. Like, when you think about it, if you're ignoring, like, the returning series, like My Hero Academia and all that, this is the new shonen of the series. This kind of fits in, like, the realm with Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, Hell's Paradise. It's sort of around the same time they released, and they all kind of came out in Shonen Jump and had a very sort of similar path. I'm not sure if Kaiju number 8 came out in Shonen Jump, but it was a Shonen magazine, so it could have been Shogun Sunday.
I kind of expect it would.
Yeah. Anyway,
people have been talking about it. This one's gearing up to be one of those big ones.
We don't know how many episodes this is going to be either. So I'm really gunning for 25. I'd like
How
to see
many
25.
final seasons is it going to have? I'm already comparing it to Attack on Titan. I might as well wonder about that.
No. Anyway,
Final season,
go watch that. I think that's going to be
Half-Life.
quite good. Anyway, let's move on and talk about what is going to be the number one anime for this season. It is big. It is comedy. It is supernatural.
Eurocamp?
No.
Oh.
No, we'll come to the returning series. It's not a returning. This, in my opinion, will be number one new anime. It's got 11 episodes. It's from a web manga. It's called Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again.
Oh, yes.
Now, look, this might not be everyone's cup of tea, but
Here's the plot. Grandma and Grandpa turn young again.
that's it. That's literally it.
This
Also, Grandpa and Grandma were pretty hot back in the day. So everyone's like, wow, okay, cool. And Grandpa and Grandma are still farmers. So they're pretty buff too.
Yes, everyone thirsts over them. It's a little uncomfortable at a couple of places.
Yeah, although I think it's more like lost in translation sort of thing. So,
I hope so.
Shozo and Ine Sato have both been happily married for as long as they can remember. Even in their old age, With wrinkles and cracking limbs, the strength of this love is evident by their precious bond, and then randomly one day they wake up to find they are young again.
Well,
I think they said they've been married for almost 70 years.
Yes, that's they mentioned that when they were in sort of like a
Sports festival thing.
Sports festival
Yeah.
episode.
It's very much like a gag style show in a good way. Like there is an overarching story, but it's told in those little segments.
Yeah, you get the sense that this was a 4 coma or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, it's not for no reason that they wake up young again. It's that you see a part where there's a golden apple growing on a tree,
Which they
like, in their
saved from a
orchard.
tsunami. Not a tsunami. What's the other thing? The big
Hurricane?
yeah, but the seasonal storms.
Oh, typhoon.
That they have in Japan. So despite their newfound youthful and attractive bodies, Shoujo and Ine remain the same as ever. Jisan Basan Wakagaru follows the young old couple as they go about their daily lives, spend time with family, and defy the expectations of all the youngsters.
Yeah, it's that's another thing. Just people's reaction to the fact that a pair of senior citizens just aged backwards very, very suddenly. Everyone's very.
I mean, everyone's freaked out initially, except for the oldies. The oldies are just like, whatever.
I'm jealous of them, but it's more that the reaction is a lot more subdued than I'd expect.
Yeah. Also, like the thing Ken is worried about is that the daughter and the granddaughter seem a little bit. Well, they think grandpa looks hot. But I don't think it's in that creepy way. I think it's because it does put up on the screen that they love like male idols and they think he'd be a great male idol. And I think they're just like, oh my God, yes.
It's how close and physical they get with him. It's just like, ladies,
family.
Relate. Oh yeah, okay, but
family. Like,
but I mean, it's also Japanese culture.
True. But I mean, it is meant to be like, as you said, if it's probably from a 4 coma, which I suspect it is, it's probably meant to be goofy and fun.
Yeah, I expect. Yeah, I'm not worrying in any serious way. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. Studio is Gecko. One Hit Kill Sister they did, and Temple, which was kind of like the weird sort of like comedy one where the guy like he just like, I'm gonna cast off all my earthly like desires and join the temple so I don't become like my father, and the temple's filled with women. So of course, that was a couple of seasons back. That was a weird one. This airs on Sundays at 11:30 at night. It's got
very cutesy.
It's got no rating, so I'd say PG, just for like standard. Any anime's PG really, unless it's for kids, then it's G. So, but this is wholesome fun. It's on Crunchyroll and Annie Plus in Korea. So, yeah, you're gonna have fun with it. It's just really goofy. It's like kind of almost like skits that happen in like 4 or 5 minutes, and they go on to the next skit sort of thing. But the story is evolving, so there is serialization across it. Now we do need to touch on the deluge of big returning shows. My Hero Academia Season 7, that starts in the beginning of May, so we've got another month till that begins, and that makes sense with where we are in the story. I don't think it's going to be like a full 25-episode season. I think it will be like a truncated like 15 to 18 episode season. Konosuba Season 3 is coming next week.
Been a long time since we've seen that.
It has, and the art style is very different. Not in a bad way though. It's kind of slightly changed because they changed studios when they went to the movie, and then the same studio, the movie studio then wasn't able to help, so they went and set up a brand new studio, or joined a new studio and then set up there, and that started it.
With Blackjacks.
Yes. Yuru Camp Season 3.
Woo!
That's first episode's out. Again, also changed studios. Character designers also changed. The characters are going to look a little different.
I noticed that in the trailer. It's nothing terrible.
I'm just feel like they made Rin look a bit too derpy.
You think so?
Yeah, she just kind of looks a bit like, whatever. But I don't know if that was just the scene they chose. So
I'm pretty sure
I'll
it
have
was
to watch
just
it,
that one scene where they're all zombies.
Demon Slayer Season 5, which is the Hishira training arc, that also starts in May. So that's also going to be another unusual like 18, 15, 20 episode season. Again, makes sense for where they are in the manga as well. And we've got Slime Season 3, which has started. That time I was reincarnated as a slime. And Sound Euphonium Season 3, the first new series that Kyoto Animation have made since that fire attack. So
Welcome back, Kyoto. We missed you.
yes, we've missed you a lot.
Euphonium is an interesting one to go back to after that.
They're in their third year, so it looks like each season is a year. So
Okay.
they're now the seniors.
All
So
right.
all of those older characters that we were used to seeing are no longer there.
Wow.
So yeah, it's same drama. If you've watched Hibiki Euphonium before, you'll be like, yep, I recognize this.
Might need to restart it. It was.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Mhm.
But I'm just glad to see like shows by them coming back out. Like they've done films like Kyoto Animation, they've done other mini projects and all that, but seeing one of their mainline shows or big projects come back is a real good sign. And
Yeah.
I've really missed it.
Kyoto,
Yeah.
they do such beautiful work.
Kyoto have just... They're one of the best animation studios, both for the way they treat their staff and for the quality of the content they put out.
Hands down.
There's no question. So, a lot of respect for them. Okay. That's this season's suggestions from us. Now, if we've missed something that you think is going to be amazing, drop it in the comments section. There's always plenty coming out. This season is full of isekais. We've mostly avoided them because to be honest, they all kind of seem a bit generic.
We don't talk about the isekai.
No.
I swear to gods, I have seen one of them before.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them.
Like,
which
it's
are
not
the-
even a sequel. It's straight up the same thing.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. Like, you remember how there was like, I'm overpowered in this other world and it's a cheat skill, so I'm going to live a relaxed life. That's 4 of them this season.
yeah, that's
Too many.
I believe that is 4 of the titles, yes.
Yeah, in one. Anyway, let's move on to looking back at the season that we've just talked to.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Why do we watch that?
Definitely in my top 5.
Season in review.
I too talked to an old season.
Okay.
That's what you said.
So we've talked about the new season. Let's go back to the one that's just finished up. Now, get it out of your system.
Free run!
Yes, Kenny likes Free Ren. Free Ren's his
I was
pick.
not allowed to vote for it!
Look, you'll be able to vote for it for this year. But Free Ren has been a landslide success. Anyway, enough of
I
that.
mean, I wasn't so thrilled. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved everything about the last bit, but I wasn't so thrilled about the fact that it went from being, comfy adventurers doing adventures to the tuning exam from Naruto, but
Yeah.
with mages.
Yeah, but now that's done, and they can move on to like heading into the Northlands.
Yeah.
Like, the next season will be amazing.
Yeah, I loved
Cool.
it, but it's just like, it feels like there was a tone shift.
I mean, there was. Like, can't disagree. Now, if you aren't aware of Furion, I feel for you. It's taken the world by storm. It's best elf and all
It's
that.
dominated my anime list. It's subverted.
I wonder if it's still at the top now that it's finished.
Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood held the top spot basically all of its natural life.
Yeah.
And then it was subverted by adorable little elf.
It's still at number 1. And
Yes!
not by a small margin. It's on a 9.39. So, Full Metal Alchemist is 9.09. And Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood does deserve to be up there. But I think
I've said it before that it
it's
is
time
a
for-
categorically
Yeah.
perfect anime. It does what it does correctly
Yeah.
in every category.
But it's time for passing of the torch.
Mm-hmm.
So Steins Gate is also up there, Gintama, and then look, there's a lot of Gintama in the top, and that's kind of valid. It's kind of bonkers.
Gintama is like a social force all of its own.
Yeah.
It rips on every other anime out there. I think it just sort of exists as the meta anime.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad to see that Attack on Titans, all of its entries have dropped out of the top 10 aside from season 3, part 2. And that's probably just because it's still, I mean, it was 2019, and in fairness, the storytelling in that was quite good. It got right towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the other parts where it was like, 12 episodes, you're like, why is that in the top 10? Like, you can't understand it without the rest of it. Like, I've got a lot of beef with how my anime lists do this. They should condense like shows that have multiple seasons into a single season as an aggregate.
Into a category. And maybe you click on that category that show. Say you're looking at, I don't know, One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the different movies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, if you have a look at it, like,
I don't know. I don't run websites.
yeah, but I mean, you look at this, you got Bleach 1000-Year Blood War. That is in the top 10 at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, considering how different the art style is, and it's been how long since Bleach ended? Like, that's fair for it to be separate. Like we thought Bleach was done.
How long ago was that? Was
Like
that
it's over 10 years.
decade?
Yeah. So like in this situation, that's fair for it all to be finished. But every entry for Gintama, that should be put together. Every entry for Kaguya-sama Love is War, that should be put together. Fruits Basket, the final season, that should be put together with the rest of Fruits Basket. It's not going to shake it up too much, but it gives you more of an idea of the series overall as opposed to, just one or the other.
But so yeah, we should return to the important thing we were talking about, Frieren.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
So,
it is wonderful.
It's basically the story about what if the hero's party had an elf in it, and then the elf watched the rest of the party pass away over time.
That's the thing.
And then that's the start, but that's not the story. There's so much more to it.
I forget how much we've talked about this, but it's the fact that it's one of very, very few fantasy stories I've seen which do elves correctly.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of the other ones you'll like see and read, elves are just like they are, they're immortal. And so that means they have license to act really, really haughty and like, oh, yes, I was here 100 years ago. It's just like they don't behave
No, they don't.
like they are immortal. They just behave like human plus ones, and
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to swear on this channel.
No, you're not. But I mean, like, this
But
does a
this-
good look at how people who would live for a very long time would view times differently.
And the
Right.
memes for that have been wonderful.
Yeah.
Free Ren with a Blockbusters card.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Blockbusters used to be everywhere.
that must have came up after her amulet thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Like,
Oh no, someone's actually made one of her coming to a ruins of a Blockbuster store and going, Himmel.
there's also a lot of a lot of comedy bits about her going, oh wait, Himmel the hero liked me. Oh, how did I not pick up on that?
And there's a lot of cosplay and memes of Free Red and Fern with guns. And I don't understand it.
I don't understand that either. Anyway, Frieren, highly recommended it. It's not an isekai. It's just a pure fantasy. If you like...
And there's just not enough of those.
No, there's not. But if you like, say, like Lord of the Rings-esque fantasy, if you like comfy shows where it's kind of... I wouldn't say it's slow-paced, but it meanders its way there, but at a good enough pace to keep you interactive.
It's the fact that whenever they do go into battle, like in the early game, it's that each battle is meaningful. They're not just doing it for like earning XP or showing off powers or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's that the fight is important to tell you something about the characters and the plot.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, it's worth checking out. Go watch it. It's good. Was that Crunchyroll? High Dive. High Dive? High Dive. Yeah. Yeah, it's on one of the platforms we're subscribed to, and we keep forgetting.
Go to Crunchyroll.
Shangri-La Frontier is Aaron's pick.
Yes, it's so good.
Also good. Think of it as Sword Art Online, but good. No, I'm kidding.
That could be anything.
I know. There's one this season that basically looks like Sword Art Online, but same premise, more mature approach.
It's not hard.
It's called The New Gate.
Okay,
This has been around. Whenever I was searching for Gate, thus the JSDF went there.
Oh, yeah.
This would always come up instead because it was big. So I
loved Gate.
I'm interested to look into this. Gate's
But
so
yes,
good. Shangri-La Frontier.
Shangri-La Frontier is fun.
It's a VR game where you put a headset on, but it's about a guy who previously was a trash game player, so he'd play games to try and break them.
Yeah, he
knows
plays
they're
games
bad.
that constantly limit his ability, and so he has to think of creative ways around the terrible, terrible game design. And so when he's given access to a very, very
a god tier game, as
an
he put it.
intuitive, a very, very highly rated game, he's using his gamer instincts against it and just sort of breaking it a little bit.
Yeah, but he's enjoying it. And it's kind of funny to see how like a trash game, reacts and approaches a properly designed game.
And yeah, I just sort of love the little tiny meta narrative that surrounds it. So it's about a guy playing a fantasy game and he wears a funny hat and he's otherwise naked with a pair of swords. It's Let Me Solo Her, the anime.
Season 2 is coming
Woohoo!
in October.
Yes.
So that's not far away at all.
Oh, and the OP, the music for the OP is just so good.
It's quite heavy rock. It's good fun.
I put it on my not allowed to drive while playing this list.
Yes.
There's a lot on that
There's
list.
a lot on that playlist.
A lot of Redline.
Oh god, Redline, so good.
Not allowed to drive while
Not
listening
allowed
to
to drive while listening to Redline.
Nor the Eurobeat version of Freebird.
Just Eurobeat anything. You'll be drifting. Initial Ding. Solo Leveling was Tifa's pick from the past season. Now, I will be honest, I'm quite behind on Solo Leveling. I didn't get to watch a lot last season because I got COVID again. I got sick, and then I had to travel for work, and then I changed jobs. So yeah, it's been a bit like that.
It's been a long decade.
I have read all of Solo Leveling's manga. Manhwa, actually, the Korean one. And it's good. It's a really interesting story. It is a power fantasy. Like, there's no getting away from that.
But there's a reason why everyone's talking about this.
Yeah. So this is a show where the world has had gateways open up and monsters coming through from these, it's demon portal or whatever. And it's become a profession to become a hunter, to go and fight back these monsters and take their cores and materials back, and they're processed and used. But you get rated once you awaken as a hunter, and your ranking never changes. There's no leveling up, if that makes sense. So this is
Which is a very different concept.
Yeah, this is about a guy who breaks that system by accident. He almost dies and accidentally gets injected into a leveling system. So he has access to skills and training facilities and quests and missions and stuff like that, which obviously brings a whole question about how the world actually works.
He enters the Matrix.
Basically, yeah. And he starts leveling up, and his whole aim is to... his mother's in hospital, his little sister's still in school. He's the sole provider, which is why he keeps going to these dungeons despite being the lowest ranked adventurer of them all, putting himself at risk. And his, this provides him a lot. Like, it is very classic, man can't do something without reason being woman related. But the story is quite well written and rounded and thought out. I don't particularly like the end. I think it's a little bit of a cop out. But the story up until that point is pretty good. But that being said, I kind of have beef with a few stories how they end. Like, it's like you finished everything.
Congratulations.
Do I have it? No, I don't have it ready. Well.
I preferred the crazy, weird, slowed down version anyway.
Congratulations. Anyway, let's move on to one that both Emma and Kiralee are big fans of, and that's Apothecary Diaries. This is a Netflix series. By that, I mean it's being produced in Japan, and Netflix are just distributing it. They're not involved in production.
I still have beef with this one.
Yeah.
Because it took me like 5 or 6 episodes to realize that this was this season's Sherlock anime.
Yeah. So for those not familiar, Japan loves Sherlock Holmes. Now, this is not actually Sherlock Holmes, the anime.
It's that...
But every year there is...
Every year, every couple of seasons, there will be an anime which runs with the Sherlock Holmes formula. You have this brilliant detective, their smart sidekick, and they solve mysteries.
Together.
And they focus on, it's like the very Sherlockian kind of focusing on the details to solve the crimes.
Yeah.
And is Bartender the one this time? I don't know.
I think Bartender Glass of God is this season's one, because he decides what cocktail they should have based on the clothes they're wearing and their mannerisms or something.
Yes, your cuff buttons are loose, which means you haven't had time to do them up and are tired. And you wear your watch a certain way, and so I'm going to make you a glass.
You wear your watch under there because you're always checking the time. So yeah.
It's like, I get it, but yeah.
Come on.
Sherlock.
Yeah. Anyway, Apothecary Diaries is amazing.
It's a delight.
It's about a girl who's apothecary. She gets kidnapped by... is it in China?
It's in China.
It's in China. So she's kidnapped by the Imperial Palace, brought in to look after people, and a whole load of things ensue.
She's brought in as just a slave, but then it's discovered that she has a massive talent for apothecarying.
Yeah.
Apothecacy? I forget the word for this. It's
she's
late
good with pharmacy. Yeah.
She makes crystal meth.
Yeah. She is Mr. White.
Oni-chan, let's cook.
You know what? I would watch Breaking Bad the anime.
I've seen things.
Oh God.
It exists in strange forms.
Okay, but anyway,
Jesse-san.
Apothecary Diaries focuses on this girl and her experiences within the what do you call it, the royal palace and all that, and there's all sorts of mystique going on to do with the emperor, who will be the emperor's child.
Yes, the politicking
which
of the concubines
and all that. But it's beautifully drawn. It's really funny. Like, there's a lot of gag and slapstick comedy.
She grows catty as a lot.
Yeah, as like kind of like a reaction-y sort of thing. And
oh, she's the distant relative of Comey.
yeah. That's exactly where my brain went. But she also like she's also trying to figuring out what she wants from the world as well, which is kind of it's good. It's not just all about solving the mysteries and helping these people. It is a little bit raunchy in parts.
I still wonder about a certain thing though. So she lived with her family in this town, and she was an apothecary. Well, she was sort of an apprentice apothecary there.
Yeah,
and then she gets kidnapped as a slave. Has she written a letter back to her folks saying that she's okay?
That's a bit of a plot point. So
okay.
Yeah, that is explained later.
Oh, cool.
Much later. But
I feel like that would have been explained earlier.
Yeah, they do kind of touch on it, and she when she does eventually get removed from slave status, and that doesn't take long, is my understanding from memory, because I missed the first couple of episodes.
Oh, okay.
Because Emma was just like devouring it, so keeping alongside.
It is gorgeous.
It is beautiful. Highly recommend it if you like any of those sort of stories where it's set in a royal palace or all that, and there's lots of pretty boys and pretty girls. This is your cup of tea, and it's even if that's not your cup of tea, it is just really interesting.
Her relationship with the main pretty boy is hilarious.
Yeah, that's perfection. All right, and my pick from last season, because everyone's picked everything else that I'm big on. I must admit, I did really like Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, but I already know what's going to happen because I'm up to date on the manga, so I think that kind of spoils it for me a bit.
Okay, fair
enough. Metallic Rogue.
Oh, yes.
So set on Mars, it's a mystery sort of thing. There are several AIs who are sort of immortal, and the main character...
Yeah, it's like the way you say it, it's a mystery set on Mars, so it's sort of like Blade Runner. Yeah, except they can, put on their power armor and beat the absolute magic out of each other. Yeah,
it's great. Like, if you kind of like... some of the more like retro future shows, like what are the Night Sabers? Bubblegum Crisis.
Bubblegum Crisis.
That sort of style of show where it's people in suits, like Tiger and Bunny,
crazy Power Rangers level power armor.
Yeah, not Power Rangers level power armor, but like Ghost in the Shell type. Ghost in the Shell mixed with Bubblegum Crisis, but
with Power Rangers color schemes.
Yeah, but in a more modern setting, a futuristic setting. That's basically how I describe Metallic Rogue. And if you like any of those, you'll like this. It's good fun. There's a lot of intrigue. You're wondering a lot about how it's going to end up and how they're going to finish the story and how it's going to all
it's
come
a very
together.
Unique sort of thing to incorporate that kind of criminal underworld thing with that kind of battle thing. It's not the pairing you'd ever expect.
No, it's not. But it's great fun. Watch it. I'm not going to give too much away because it's great. I haven't finished it yet either, so no spoilers, please. I think I've got 4 episodes left. 10 out of 10 can recommend.
John dies at the end.
He always dies at the end.
Darth Vader was Luke's father all along.
Obviously, each of us has only picked one last season. Last season was a blockbuster, so please, if we have missed something that you would like to talk about, drop it in the comments, as always, over on YouTube or on our socials.
Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time.
No!
Kawaii-Fi.
Tonight on Anime Communique.
Great story, compelling and rich.
Nothing brings ratings up like a little controversy.
Oh, yeah. As always, plenty going around in the world of anime news. First up, Manga Taisho Awards for 2023 have been announced. This is the committee for the 17th Manga Taisho Awards have announced the winner and full points breakdown for the award just on Tuesday last week at the time of release of the podcast. There is a series called Kimi to Uchi o Aruku Tame ni, which won this year's award.
Do we have I know it's kind of insensitive to us, but is there an English translation for the title?
Well, it'd be Kimi and Uchi, and I don't know about Aruku Tamini. It looks familiar. I think I do know what it's meant to mean, but anyway.
Sorry.
The manga centers on Kobayashi, who can't continue to study or do his part-time job, so it seems like he'll become a dropout and a delinquent, but one day an eccentric person named Uno transfers into his class. I don't know if Uno is like from Spain or something.
It's a card game.
He's blonde, so Uno saves Kobayashi from starting a shady part-time job offered by an upperclassman, and they start to become friends. The more Kobayashi learns about Uno's lifestyle, the more he's drawn to Uno and starts to want to change himself. It's a story of friendship following two people who are opposites but are both far from normal as they struggle to live happy lives.
That sounds cute enough.
Don't know if it's BL. I don't think it is. I think it might just be a close friendship story. Historians would call them roommates. So, but
people can have, relationships and friendships without it going gay.
Exactly.
I say to every single person that's seen that kind of thing in Lord of the Rings, I will hunt you all down on the internet.
Moving on. So this manga actually is pretty new. It launched in June 2023, so it's only been running for 6-7 months. 10 months. The year's flying on. And it's serialized in Ann Sofa and the Comic Days website, and it's released by Kodansha for the physical releases.
Now, paying attention to manga awards is pretty good for anime watchers because you'll get an idea of what will be coming soon.
Yeah. I mean, Fururen won the Taisho Award 3 years ago.
Exactly.
What's it called? Dungeon Meshi has been in the top final results for like 6 years straight, and then finally won it last year, and now it's got its anime.
I keep telling my mates who I keep turning on to Dungeon Meshi just how old the manga is.
It's finished. It's done.
How long ago it started. And it's just like, what? But it's so new.
It was a monthly manga.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, isn't it? There were also quite a lot of other animes nominated. So worth noting is Manga Taisho Awards kind of a little bit special in this case. So the nominating committee is composed mainly of bookstore staffers who are in charge of their respective stores' manga collections. This year's nomination committee consisted of 101 individuals who completely selected 257 titles. Any manga title that was released in 2023 and has 8 volumes or less is eligible. This is why, what's it called? We just said it. Dungeon Meshi kept getting nominated because it only hit its 8th volume in its second last volume. Because of how it was so long. So the volume cap is intentionally added so that the prize winners will be relatively new works that have not already earned their popularity through sheer longevity. The runner-up was Daemons of the Shadow Realm, which is by Arakawa Hiromu.
I'd say it's more of a purple realm.
This looks quite popular. I don't know a massive amount about it. Demons of the Shadow Realm. It was released in spring 2023. In a remote mountain village under the watchful eyes of 2 stone guardians, the young Yuro contentedly lives off the land while staying close to the only family he has left, Asa, his precious twin sister. Asa, meanwhile, carries out a mysterious duty on behalf of the village while locked in a cage. Is this Demon Slayer?
This is Demon Slayer.
This is Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. I was going to say the art looks nice, and then I heard the story. I was just like, it's Demon Slayer.
There's only 1 point behind it was Kanda Gokurocho Shokunin Banashi, sorry.
Banana.
I don't know much about this one, but it was nominated for the Tezuka Osamu Cultural Prize this year as well.
Whoa.
So it's got to have something
Okay,
behind
tell me more.
It was listed in this manga as amazing as Kono manga ga sugoi. Sugoi. Pion sugoi.
So sugoi.
Yeah, it's a detailed look at the daily lives of a handful of craftsmen in Edo period of Japan, such as blacksmiths, coppersmiths, and so on.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I actually did find a manga not unlike that recently.
Oh.
The Night Blooms Behind Castle Walls. And it was basically...
Oh, yeah.
I have this theory that the person who made this manga was basically writing a thesis on how castle life was in medieval Europe. And just instead of writing a new dusty old thesis, they decided to turn it into a manga instead because it is just loaded with all of the information and diagrams of how all of these basic things were done in time of less technological means. And so you telling me about that instantly brings that to mind, and I'm intrigued. I love this sort of thing.
Like there is a lot.
I love it when anime does me an educate.
Wow, I've just seen the list of the previous winners. So Kore Kaite Shine from last year, Darwin Jihen, which is Darwin's game, I believe. Then Fururen, Blue Period, Astra Lost in Space, Beastars, Golden
Love
Kamuy.
Astra.
Don't know that one. A Bride Story.
Bride Story.
Umimachi Diary. March Comes in Like a Lion. Chiafura. Like these are all big, long-running, popular series.
Absolutely.
And for the good reason. There's Days of Diamond as well, which was listed. The next one, actually. Dear Shimazaki in the Peaceful Land. I think this is like an action. 30 years, he finally made it back to his peaceful home. Yeah. As a child, Shimazaki Shugo was kidnapped by an international terrorist organization and raised as their combat agent. After 30 years, he's finally made it back to his peaceful hometown in Japan. Will he be able to live a peaceful life in this new world? From the large-scale newcomer Goten Hamada and the artist Takashi Seshi, the creators of Han, Grass, Iron and Sheep, and Invincible, and an action story of a man who lives every day in the battlefield. I don't think it's that Invincible. I think it's a really weird one. Anyway, we've kind of gone all about this, but if you want to know what manga to check out, always check out the Taisho Awards because it reflects what has been being actually bought in Japanese bookshops.
And in good time, it'll probably become one of the best animes out there.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Let's quickly move across to, once I get past them, some My Hero Academia news. This next film is heading to cinemas in August. It's going to be August 2nd in Japan.
Hoping it's better than the last one.
I don't think it will be, to be honest. My Hero Academia Your Next, the fourth film in the franchise, previews the villain Dark Might, who looks like All Might and is also voiced by All Might.
Yeah, it's the evil All Might.
Yeah.
It is Baron Bad All Might.
So as you can guess, I don't really have high hopes for this. It's literally, what if All Might fought himself? Like, okay,
Okay,
cool.
first of all as well, I think My Hero Academia is dragging a bit. I mean, I know the manga is finished, isn't it?
No.
Oh God, really?
We're so close to the end.
Are we also getting final seasons multiples for this one?
I'd say we've got season 7, season 8 done.
And then final season part 2.
Well, they might do a movie for
Part 3.
Actually, no, they can't do a movie for the final fight. The final fight's taken too long. So yeah.
Is it against Frieza? What the hell?
It's because everyone is fighting. All at once
Okay.
in multiple locations.
Alright.
So you'll have like 5 chapters where you're watching them fighting Shigaraki, and then it'll jump over to them fighting someone from the League of Villains, and then jump over to something that's going on at a prison escape, and then jump over and someone new will show up, and you'll be like, how? I thought they were dead, and I thought that person oh wow, yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's good.
But it's
And
reminded me a bit of Marvel at this point.
I wouldn't say it's gone too far. I think it's keeping it just good enough, and like I think that it's being written now with an eye for how it will be adapted for the anime.
Okay.
Because when you keep in mind that the anime will, you're typically looking about 2 chapters of a manga per episode of anime, roughly. That format. And for how they're jumping around to it would be very normal for My Hero Academia storytelling during the big encounters, like when they had the hospital attack and so on. It would work very similar. So I think that's why they're doing that. I don't like it, and it feels like it's taking a long time to get to the end, but we are so close. I'd say like 5 chapters.
Okay,
Like,
fair enough.
It is so close. You can literally touch it. And people who are up to date will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, film, watch it when it comes home. To home video. Let's talk about...
Do people get home videos anymore?
Oh, digital. But you know. Well, actually, now that you say that, yes, they do. Shout Studios is to release Digimon Adventure 02 The Beginning animes on Blu-ray and digital platforms on June 11. Home video. And movie gets Blu-ray DVD combo pack with Digimon cards in it.
Oh, Aaron's going to
be buying that. So that's getting a physical release on June 11. I don't know if that's just Japan or if it's going to be international. So we'll know more once we get closer to it. Last couple of news items. 2 new things have been added of note to Netflix's catalog. Suzume, Makoto Shinkai's most recent film, is now available on Netflix in 169 countries.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Including the US and Japan. And Netflix has added Great Teacher Onizuka's anime.
Get out, really?
Yeah. Like, this is, like, ancient now.
Oh,
Like,
okay. We got to do
2002 was the original manga.
God, this is going back.
Original manga ended in 2002. Was revisited in the manga sequel Shonen 14 Days, and there's an upcoming spin-off GTR, and it's got a predecessor. Like this is a tour de force in Japan, and I don't think it's well enough appreciated outside of it.
This is some classic stuff.
Yeah.
We might have to do a whole episode on a deep dive of this.
I think we need to.
Oh,
This is great. It's a great teacher.
Do we wait until? I mean, you said it's on Netflix now, so
yeah,
I reckon it's current enough that we can look into it.
Yeah, it should be. But yeah, basically focuses on Akichi Onizuka, a 22-year-old ex-biker and college karate champ. He's a crude, foul-mouthed, and has a hair trigger temper. His goal to be the greatest high school teacher in the world. Unfortunately, the only teaching job available is at the Holy Forest Academy, which requires no certification. There, he uses his street smarts to deal with colleagues and students alike. It's great.
It's
highly recommend. Like,
it's. I mean, there was nothing like it at the time as well.
Yeah.
And I can't honestly say there's been anything like it since.
Yeah. Just its sequel. That's it. And that's kind of like the same sort of thing. Anyway, highly recommend. And that's kind of it for this for the anime news. So let's wrap up.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
I can't do the digi-rap.
You can do it.
I can't do the
I believe in you.
No, we have Aaron for the digi-rap. I can do the poke-rap.
You can?
Yes. Not going to. It's been a while.
Don't.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening. That's where we're going to leave things for this episode. Thanks for sticking around. Next time, it's Spy X Family time.
Woohoo.
Code White, the movie, is going to be coming to cinemas this week for us.
I've been enjoying the veritable fountain of merch from it already.
Ooh.
At Miyu Japan, the little Japanese merch store in the city, they sell the peanut flavored coffee, which you guys hate so much.
Which you were drinking last episode on camera. So we're going to do that, and then we do need to visit Kill la Kill because it's been 10 years. And Trigger, any excuse to talk about Trigger, I'm there. I love Trigger. Now, if you have enjoyed what you heard, subscribe button, join us for future episodes, all the good stuff.
If you haven't enjoyed what you heard, argue with me in the comments.
Well, he said,
I
yes.
will meet you in the comments. I will fight you. I will win.
We also have that YouTube edition where you can fight Kenny in the comments. We do have dedicated videos on there, a couple of interviews with voice cast. We are going to kind of up that a bit again this year now that we've got the studio finally and all set up. Now, if you would like to support the channel, there's Patreon. We have the pre-show. I think I might actually be behind on an episode of the pre-show for Patreon members, so my apologies. It's been a wild couple of weeks. But for $1
We
a
say
month,
all the naughty things we're not allowed to say on camera on
Yeah.
the pre-show.
for $1 a month, you can get the outtakes, the audio outtakes, and the pre-show and anything else goofy that we come up with.
What are we talking about this time?
Comics.
Yeah.
Comics. That might have been the show.
I completely forgot
Yeah,
what
I
we're talking
know.
about. Or even R9.
It was good. It's only like 20 minutes, but it's a whole other podcast.
I said the F word and the Z word.
Yes. But they're not the word you're thinking of.
No.
Now, if you can afford to support us, we greatly appreciate it, but it is a bit tight at the moment, so
Yeah,
it's not. We don't do this to get paid. We do this out of love. Now, if you would like to join the Kawaii-Fi community, head over to the social media channels. Facebook, Instagram, Discord, Threads, Twitter is going to be getting retired later this year.
I mean, what, the platform itself or just ours?
I'm taking it out the back.
Giving it the old yellow treatment.
Old yellow.
Let me do it, Pa.
Now, that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Kawaii-Fi Radio. Thanks for joining us. And until next time,
Watch some anime!